Ash Ketchum is the main protagonist of Pokémon the Series. He is a 10-year-old Pokémon trainer from Pallet Town in the Kanto region, who has always dreamed of becoming the world's greatest Pokémon Master. The first human character to be introduced in the series, he is the winner of the Orange League and Kanto Battle Frontier, as well as the Alola region's Pokémon Champion, receiving the title after winning its first Pokémon League Conference. He's also one of the 8 best trainers in the Pokémon World after defeating Raihan and reaching Master Class in the World Coronation Series. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. When he was a little boy, Ash went looking for Pokemon in the forest. However, Ash got lost and was frightened to the point of tears. When it started to rain, he was forced to take shelter under a hollow tree. While under the tree, Ash noticed a group of Pokemon who were also seeking shelter from the rain. Ash invited the Pokemon inside the tree where they kept him safe and warm. This made Ash so happy that he wondered how much he wanted to become a trainer to travel the entire world with his Pokemon friends. Later on, Ash shows his mother a poster of Professor Oak's Pokemon summer camp that he wanted to go to, and she happily signed him up. However, Ash overslept and missed the summer camp. After that, Ash went home hoping he would go next time. Sometime later, Ash successfully enrolled in another one of Professor Oak's Pokemon summer camps, where he would learn the basics of Pokemon and being a trainer when he gets older. While looking for a Poliwag, Ash happened upon a young girl and fellow camper named Serena who got lost in the forest while looking for her group. Seeing that she injured her knee when a Poliwag startled her, Ash wrapped a clean blue handkerchief with a Pokeball on each corner around her wounded knee to brace it. Ash lent her his hand and helped her up even when she couldn't get herself up due to the pain. While doing so, Ash even hugged her and then guided her out of the forest and took her back to the campsite. At some point before starting their journeys, Ash was friends with Gary Oak, Professor Oak's grandson, as they would go to the movies together when they were younger. Then one day, Ash and Gary both fished out a Pokeball on both of their fishing lines. After arguing about who gets to keep it, Ash and Gary both broke the Pokeball into 2 pieces, where they kept one half of it as a reminder of that day. Kanto. Years later, Ash started his Pokemon journey when he just turned 10 years old. However, he overslept because he had broken his alarm clock by accident during the night, and when he got to the professor's lab, there were no more first partner Pokemon left. The professor had one Pokemon left, but he said that it wasn't very friendly, and released Pikachu. Pikachu disliked Ash straight away and shocked him with its Thunder Shock attack. This marks the start of his journey with Pikachu. Later, Pikachu starts to trust Ash after he protected him from a flock of angry Spearow, and then saw a mysterious Pokemon up in the sky. Upon challenging various gyms, Ash started finding traveling companions, such as Brock and Misty. On his journey, he regularly encountered the wacky trio Jesse, James, and Meowth of Team Rocket, who kept trying to and still try to steal Pikachu. During his journey, he participated in a Pokemon race, got sucked into cyberspace, and was involved in a movie and helped with the Flame of Moltres. He finished in the top 16 in the Indigo Pokémon League competition. Orange Islands. After the Indigo Pokémon League competition came to a close, Ash, Misty, and Brock were sent to the Orange Islands by Professor Oak on an errand to retrieve the mysterious GS Ball, as the transporter cannot send it to Oak's lab back in Pallet Town. Ash picked up the GS Ball from Professor Ivy and bid goodbye to Brock, who decided to stay with her. However, Ash found that there were gyms in the Orange Islands and decided to challenge them, winning a trophy for beating the gym leaders. During his time in the Orange Islands, Ash gained a new traveling companion in Tracy Sketchit, a Pokemon watcher who observes Pokemon in their natural habitats and draws them in his sketchbook, and caught new Pokemon, Snorlax and Lapras, as well. He battled the Orange Crew in a style of battling much different than what he was used to. Eventually, he battled Drake and became the next Orange Pokemon League champion. Ash then returned to Professor Oak's lab with the GS Ball. Before Professor Oak could try to solve the mystery of the ball, Team Rocket tried to catch Pikachu again, along with all the Pokemon at the lab, but they were stopped by Gary. Ash was asked by Professor Oak to give the GS Ball to an associate of his, Kurt, in Azalea Town in the Johto region, as he couldn't open it either. Hearing about the Johto region, Ash decided to travel there for their gyms and enter the Johto Pokemon League. Brock returned to travel with Ash and Misty, while Tracy remained behind to help Professor Oak at his lab. Gold and Silver. Ash heard that there was a region called Johto and traveled there to find and catch new Pokemon unseen in Kanto. He battled the gym leaders there and caught the 3 starter Pokemon, just as he had done in Kanto. Brock returned and left Professor Ivy for unknown reasons, and Tracy remained at Professor Oak's lab in Pallet Town. During this portion of Gold and Silver, Ash won 2 badges for the Johto League, by facing Faulkner of the Violet City Gym and Bugsy of the Azalea Town Gym. He also catches a shiny Noctowl, had another battle with Misty, and said goodbye to his Charizard, as he left it at the Charisific Valley so it could become stronger. Ash won 3 more badges, but was delayed from having his 6th gym battle as the Olivine gym leader, Jasmine, was preoccupied with caring for an ill Electro Pokemon, Ampharos, that fueled the Lighthouse's power. Determined to get his gym battle, Ash traveled over to Cyanwood City to get the medicine needed for Ampharos. Along the way, he meets the gym leaders Whitney, Morty, Jasmine, and Chuck, along with some new friends like Sakura, an aspiring trainer and one of the 5 Kimono sisters, and reunites with Casey. After his gym battle with Chuck, Ash and his mates traveled to the Whirl Islands on Chuck's suggestion to take part in the World Cup competition, a tournament for water-type Pokemon. After competing in the World Cup competition, Ash finally collected the remaining 3 badges to enter the Johto League by beating Jasmine, Price, and Claire. He also met Lance and stopped Team Rocket's latest scheme at the Lake of Rage and brought a Larvitar back to its mother. In the Johto League, he battled his old rival Gary and finally defeated him, bringing their long rivalry to an end, and then fought Harrison from the Hoenn region, who had a Blaziken, a fire-type Pokemon Ash had never seen before. To face it, Ash chose his trusty Charizard, and the 2 fire types fought fiercely, but ultimately Charizard fainted and Ash lost to Harrison. However, Charizard managed to wound Blaziken badly enough to prevent Harrison from using it in his next match, which led to his own defeat. Ash then decided to travel to the Hoenn region, but sadly, both of his friends had to return home and thus would not be traveling with him this time. Ruby and Sapphire. Hoenn. Upon arriving, he gained 2 new traveling companions in May, a beginner trainer starting out on her journey with no clue what to do, and her younger brother Max, who has an extensive, impressive knowledge of Pokemon that far exceeds his years. Brock also returned, having finished his errands at home in Pewter City. When May decided to become a Pokemon coordinator, Ash supported her and helped her in any way that he could. Ash encountered both Team Magma and Team Aqua, 2 villainous crime syndicates occupying the Hoenn region for the first time. Ash won his first 3 badges by the end of the subtitle portion of the 6th season. The Stone Badge from Roxanne of the Rustboro Gym, the Knuckle Badge from a rematch with Brawley at the Dewford Gym, and the Dynamo Badge from Watson of the Mauville Gym. He also caught 3 Pokemon, Tailo, Trico, and Corphish. Ash was eager to challenge more gyms as he was able to win the Heat Badge from Flannery, the Balance Badge from Norman, May and Max's father, and a Feather Badge from Winona. Ash's Pokemon team changed a bit. He caught a Torkoal while his Trico and Tailo evolved into Grovyle and Swellow. Before winning his last few badges, Ash was caught in a clash between teams Magma and Aqua as they unleashed the legendary Pokemon Groudon and Kyogre to reshape the world. Due to Pikachu's connection with Groudon thanks to the Blue Orb, both teams were stopped and the legendary Pokemon returned to rest. After that, Ash beat the twin gym leaders Tate and Liza for the Mind Badge, and the Grand Festival winner Hoenn for the Rain Badge. Prior to entering the Hoenn League, Ash declined an offer from Professor Oak to trade in his current Pokemon with his previous captures on the ground that his new team had earned it for themselves. He gained 2 new rivals in Morrison and Tyson, the former he would beat, but the latter he would lose to. He caught a Snorunt, which later evolves into a Glalie. He placed among the top 8. Kanto. Returning to Kanto with Brock, May, and Max, followed by leaving Torkoal and Glalie at Professor Oak's laboratory and bringing Phanpy on the team once, Ash was involved to partake in the Battle Frontier, battling Frontier Brains for Frontier symbols. Upon his first encounter with a Frontier Brain, Factory Head Noland and his Articuno, Ash left his friends for a quick bit while the Factory Head took Max and Pikachu up in his airplane, telling them I had to make a phone call. Later that night, as the gang was watching Noland's Pokemon eat dinner, they speculated which of Noland's Pokemon Ash would challenge. Max guessed Venusaur, May guessed Rhyhorn, but Ash, aiming high, boldly decided on Articuno, the legendary bird of ice. Wondering which of Ash's Pokemon he would use against a legendary, the gang was excited when they saw his pick. Ash had gone straight to the top and brought in the big guns, calling in Charizard from the Charisific Valley to take on the Ice Flying type head-to-head. Despite the type advantage being set against it, Noland's Articuno demonstrated its ability to quickly recover after taking direct hits from Charizard's Flamethrower and Dragon Breath attacks, and managed to gain an advantage over the fiery behemoth with an Ice Beam on the wingtip, and repeatedly combining its Ice Beam and Water Pulse attacks, the latter move being strong enough to counter Charizard's newest move, Overheat. Ultimately though, Charizard managed to withstand Articuno's Steel Wing attack, and as the legendary bird came in for one last strike, it grabbed its wings mid-air, stopping the attack before it could connect and topped it off with its signature Seismic Toss, knocking out Articuno for the win and earning Ash the Knowledge symbol. Ash battled all of the remaining Frontier Brains, Arena Tycoon Greta, Dome Ace Tucker, Pike Queen Lucy, Palace Maven Spencer, and Salon Maiden Annabelle after losing to her once, and earned their Frontier symbols. The last Frontier Brain, however, Pyramid King Brandon, proved to be more difficult for Ash to defeat. Their first official battle saw Brandon's Registeel defeating Ash's Torkoal in spite of a new move it learned. For their rematch, which would be 4-on-4, Ash took a back-to-your-roots approach, once again calling in Charizard, but also this time bringing in Bulbasaur and Squirtle to reunite his trio of Kanto starters. Putting them together with Pikachu, Ash formed a team of aces from his early days, pitting the 4 aces against Brandon's Dusclops, Ninjask, Solrock, and Regice, and finally claimed victory and the final Frontier symbol, the Brave symbol, completing the set and winning the Battle Frontier. After his victory, Scott offered Ash the position of Frontier Brain when one of them retired, but he declined, opting instead to continue his journey. Before saying goodbye to May, Ash competed against her in the Tirada Pokemon contest, their match ending in a tie. There was only one ribbon and they couldn't decide who to give it to. Ash had his Sceptile use Leaf Blade to cut the ribbon in half, choosing to split it with May before they parted ways. Returning home, Ash met up with Gary again and saw the latter's new Electivire. Gary informed Ash about the region of Sinnoh, to which he immediately decides to travel next on his journey. He manages to catch an Aipom, who joins him on this journey. Diamond and Pearl. Departing for Sinnoh, Ash once again left his previous captures from the Hoenn region at Professor Oak's laboratory, with the exception of his Aipom who'd snuck along. After arriving in Sinnoh by boat and reuniting with Brock, he gained yet another new traveling companion in Dawn, a confident girl interested in following in her mother's footsteps as a Pokemon coordinator. Before receiving new clothes from his mother in the mail, Ash gained a new rival in a trainer named Paul. Later on his travels, Ash misses meeting Team Galactic due to moving on with his journey too soon. He won his first 2 Sinnoh gym badges, a Coal badge from Roark and a Forest badge from Gardenia. Ash encountered Jay, who temporarily kidnapped Pikachu by turning it into stone. They also encountered Team Galactic and tried to stop them from stealing the Adamant Orb. During this time, Ash earns his 5th gym badge. For some time, Ash had to wait for Gym Leader Fantina to return to her gym in Hearthome City in order to challenge her. Ash reunited with May during the Wallace Cup and took part as a coordinator once again. Late one night with Pikachu, he saw the spirit of Azelf rise out of the lake the contest was being held at. He tied with Maylene, but earned a Cobble badge from her and defeated both Crasher Wake and Fantina for the Fen and Relic badges. He also acquired a new rival in Barry, a somewhat clumsy boy who insists on fining people. Continuing his journey in Sinnoh, Ash managed to beat Byron, winning the Mine badge, and Candace winning the Icicle badge. After his victory over Candace at the Snow Point Gym, Ash briefly reunited with Brandon from the Battle Pyramid back in Kanto's Battle Frontier, and witnessed a full 6-on-6 battle between him and his rival Paul. It was then, after that battle, that it was Ash's turn for his full battle with Paul, which occurred at Lake Acuity. However, Ash was not victorious in this battle. Along the trip to Sunyshore City, Ash and his friends encountered international policeman Looker, and were recruited to help stop the plans of Team Galactic, as the 3 of them were chosen to share a bond with the 3 Lake Spirit Pokemon, during which Brock managed to find Uxie. Managing to find Team Galactic in the middle of creating a new universe with the Captive Lake trio controlling Palkia and Dialga, Ash, Dawn, and Brock freed the trio, and Team Galactic was arrested while their leader vanished into the collapsing new world, effectively disbanding Team Galactic. After the Team Galactic incident, Ash entered the Sinnoh League after beating Volkner and earning the Beacon badge. He also reunited with Jasmine from the Olivine Gym back in Johto before heading to Lily of the Valley. The Sinnoh League was one of the hardest and most intense leagues he had ever competed in, as he had rivals Paul and Barry to compete with, and a mysterious trainer who joined with the mythical Pokemon Darkrai. He battled against most of his rivals, save for Barry, who battled Paul and lost, so Ash's next match was against Paul. The battle was intense as Paul showed Pokemon that he didn't normally use, while Ash had reassembled his team of 6 from the earlier battle at Lake Acuity. After defeating Paul, Ash faced an opponent other trainers in the league dreaded to face, as he was hard to defeat, the trainer with the Darkrai, Tobias. After losing 3 of his Pokemon to it, Ash was able to defeat Tobias's Darkrai with Sceptile, and even knocked out Tobias's Latios with Pikachu. However, as the rest of Ash's Pokemon had fainted, he lost the match and was eliminated. He reached the top 4, and was the only one of Tobias's opponents to defeat 2 of his Pokemon, let alone his Darkrai. After the Sinnoh League, Ash bids farewell to Dawn as she wished to continue entering contests, and also parted ways with Brock, his oldest friend and longest running traveling companion, for the final time, as Brock now wished to become a Pokemon doctor. Black and White. At home in Pallet Town, Ash received new clothes and was invited along with his mother by Professor Oak to take a trip to the faraway Unova region for a scientific expedition. Upon arrival, a more formidable Team Rocket, no longer fooling around and acting in a more serious capacity, once again tried to capture Pikachu. This was prevented by the timely intervention of Zekrom, one of Unova's 2 legendary Pokemon. Zekrom caused a storm that scared away Team Rocket and temporarily knocked Pikachu out. Arriving at Professor Juniper's lab, Ash encountered a new rival named Trip, an insolent boy with an intolerant attitude towards trainers from Kanto. Ash battled Trip, but lost as Pikachu's electric attacks had been temporarily disabled after the encounter from Zekrom. After those events, Ash decided to go out on a new quest to win the Unova Pokemon League. During his new journey, Ash gained new traveling companions in Iris, an up-and-coming Dragon Master with keen eyesight, and Silent, one of the 3 optional gym leaders of the Striaton City Gym, who utilized grass-type Pokemon and also a Pokemon connoisseur. Ash continued his inadvertent tradition of catching all 3 starters of a region, something not done since Johto. He adopted an Oshawott that had snuck away from Professor Juniper's lab, and an abandoned Tepig whose trainer no longer wanted it. Last but not least, Ash caught a very strong Snivy, which acts like the mother of his team. Ash won the Trio Badge, Basic Badge, and Insect Badge. As the journey continued, he acquired a mysterious egg, which later hatched into his Scraggy. Continuing on his journey through Unova with Iris and Silent, after they stopped Team Rocket from stealing Pokemon from the Nimbasa Pokemon Center, Ash and Co met up with Bianca and encountered both the gym leader Elisa and Bianca's father. After he allowed both his daughter and Ash to continue their respective journeys, Ash battled Elisa and won the Bolt Badge. Then he had the honor of meeting Alder, the Unova League champion. He also saved Unova from being torn apart by Tornadus and Thundurus by summoning Landorus, thanks to another scheme by Team Rocket. Following this, Ash had a gym battle with Clay after getting some revival herbs. During the battle, Ash's Ruggenrola evolved into a Boldore. Using its ability Sturdy, Ash defeated Clay, earning him the Quake Badge. After that, he helped Bianca with her newly evolved Escavalier and met Cedric Juniper. He managed to catch the Krokorok that followed him, adding it to his team. Finally, he had a gym battle with Skyla, during which his Tranquil evolved into Unpheasant, and managed to beat her, winning the Jet Badge. He participated in a race to the top of Celestial Tower and came in a close second, losing to Stefan, as well as the Dynamite tournament, and ranked semi-finalist. He also had to endure a harsh training session from Bryson, which paid off as he won the Freeze Badge. His plans to go to Opelucid City were put on hold as he found out the gym was closed, and had to go to Verbank City instead, where he battled Roxy and won his final badge, the Toxic Badge. He also met and befriended a Meloetta and reunited with his old friend Dawn from his time in Sinnoh, and stopped Team Rocket's latest plot involving Meloetta, Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. Along the way, he also met Cameron, who faced off against Marlin, the Humalao City gym leader. Ash finally arrived at and completed the Unova Pokemon League, placing in the top 8 as he had done before. He made a new friend, N, and learned about Team Plasma and another legendary Pokemon, Reshiram. With N's help, Ash was able to stop Team Plasma. With his adventures in Unova behind him, it was time for him to head home again. Fortunately for Ash, Professor Juniper scored him boarding tickets to the Queen Decalore, which traversed through the Decalore Islands en route to Kanto. Along the way, he met Alexa, a reporter from the Kalos region, and briefly reunited with Claire from the Blackthorn City Gym back in Johto to help find a shiny Druddigon. After arriving back in Kanto in Vermilion City, he parted ways with Iris and Silent, as the two were headed to Johto, and Ash returned home to Pallet Town once again with Alexa before choosing to leave the next day for Kalos and compete in his league. X and Y. Ash traveled to the Kalos region to compete in the Kalos League, and to continue his dream of becoming a Pokémon Master. Ash gained new traveling companions in the siblings Clement and Bonnie. Ash faced Alexa's sister, Viola, the gym leader of Santaloon City, who specialized in bug-type Pokémon. During their battle, Ash faced difficulty against Viola's Surskit, who gained an advantage over Pikachu by freezing the arena, turning it into an ice field. Ash decided that what needed improving was his Pokemon's balance, and with Alexa's help, engaged in special training designed to combat this flaw. In a rematch, Ash ultimately defeated Viola and claimed the Bug Badge, the first badge from a Kalos gym. Finding out about Clement's status as the Lumiose City gym leader, Ash and Serena offer to help him get his gym back from the control of one of Clement's faulty inventions. After retaking his gym and reprogramming the invention, Ash told Clement he'll battle him after he receives 3 more badges. Ash battled against the Silage City gym leader Grant and his rock-type Pokemon. Having seen Grant defeat Viola at the Battle Chateau, Ash sought a way to defeat Grant's Rock Tomb. When he faced Grant, this ended up becoming a Rock Tomb climb, the use of which earned Ash his second Kalos badge, the Cliff Badge. At Professor Sycamore's Pokemon Summer Camp, Ash and his friends met Shauna, Trevor, and Tierno. He later had an icebreaker battle against Tierno's Squirtle with Froakie and lost. After having a good time at the Pokemon Summer Camp, Ash went to Shellor City and battled Karina. Despite a failed attempt of using Tierno's dancing strategy, Ash managed to win his third Kalos badge, the Rumble Badge. Soon after, Ash teamed up with his ninja friend Sanpei and battled against Saizo and his Barbaracle. During the battle, his Froakie evolved into Frogadier and won the battle using its newly learned Aerial Ace move. Finally arriving in Coumarine City, Ash had to first deal with Team Rocket trying to kidnap the Vanillite evolutionary line. In searching for Vanillite, its evolved forms had covered the city with ice, which was stopped by the Coumarine gym leader Ramos. After dealing with the 3 Ice-type Pokemon, Ash then faced down Ramos in his gym battle. He won the battle and the Plant Badge, and celebrated his 4th Kalos gym victory. Later, after arriving in Lumiose City, Ash and Clement faced each other in their promised gym battle. Despite Clement electrifying the field with his Luxray's electric terrain, Ash managed to win the battle and earn his 5th badge, the Voltage Badge. Shortly after, Ash and his friends made it to Lavere City and met Sawyer, a young trainer who knew Clement from when the latter was training for Ash's battle. During their time together, Ash and Sawyer had a double battle, but were interrupted by the fashion show hosted by the Lavere City gym leader Valerie. As the boys watched the show, they were surprised to see Bonnie and Serena participating. At the end of the show, Valerie challenged Sawyer to a battle, which she easily won with her Spritzy, due to its Fairy-type immunity to Bagon's Dragon-type moves. After seeing that battle, Ash and Valerie faced each other in the gym battle for the Fairy Badge. Despite Valerie having a type advantage and defeating Fletchender with the effect of Spritzy's Trick Room, Ash came around from behind and surprised everyone by using his Hawlucha to destroy the Psychic-type move with its newly learned Bug-type move X-Scissor, before it knocked out Spritzy with High Jump Kick to give Ash the win. When they got to Anastar City, Ash and Frogadier met Olympia. After winning a brief battle with Carrie, she read his memories, and along with seeing a vision of it gaining new power, she revealed that at the Froakie breeding facility, as a Froakie, he preferred being alone to train instead of socializing with others. When he was asked to join, he politely refused, which was then met with him getting attacked by the rest of the Froakie. This made him distant towards others despite doing well, and it wasn't until Ash showed him love that he finally connected to a trainer that understood him. Ash used Frogadier alongside Talonflame in a gym battle against Olympia and her male and female Meowstic, defeating them both and giving Ash the Psychic Badge. X, Y, and Z. Shortly after, as the group head towards Snowbell City in From A to Z, the group comes across a mysterious Pokemon, dubbed Squishy by Bonnie, who is being pursued relentlessly by the villainous organization Team Flare, prompting the group to put Squishy under their own protective custody. Eventually, they come across Senpei's hometown, as they get involved in a conflict during which Frogadier evolves into Greninja, and using the strong bond between it and Ash, obtains a powerful new form, which rivals even the power of Mega Evolution. This form is later called Ash Greninja. Ash eventually met Elaine, who was intrigued by Greninja's new form. Ash battled with Elaine and his Charizard, and despite putting up a good fight, he lost. After the battle was over, they became friends and rivals. Later, Ash's Noibat evolves into Noivern, when both of them, along with Pikachu and Hawlucha, got involved to help a rampaging Zapdos calm down. Ash and Elaine face off again in a more even battle, while trying to figure out the mysterious power his Greninja has been using since it evolved. However, when Greninja pushed too hard on using its form, Ash collapsed to the ground, and Elaine immediately called off the battle. While unconscious, Ash has a dream where Greninja was leaving him. Once he regained consciousness, Ash realized that he and Greninja have to be more careful while using that form. Little did he know, Ash was slowly letting his lifelong fear of losing his Pokemon family get to him. Ash honors Diantha's request for a battle after training. However, despite Greninja finally managing to reach its final form of the Ash Greninja technique and gaining the upper hand against Diantha's Gardevoir, Ash pushed too hard on the Ash Greninja form and passed out again. Once he regained full consciousness, Ash vowed to fully master Greninja's form. Later, Ash met up with Sawyer again and they have another battle. In the end, Ash, who feared passing out during a battle again, lost due to Greninja failing to use the Ash Greninja form and leaving Greninja open. Ash, who was slowly losing his way due to letting fear get the best of him, was not only doubtful in mastering the form, but was also himself wondering as to what he was doing wrong. When Ash and his friends finally arrive in Snowbell City, they meet up with the gym leader Wolfric, and Ash challenged him to a battle in hopes of getting his final badge. During the battle, his Pokemon suffered a huge amount of damage due to the hailstorm caused by Abomasnow's Snow Warning ability and Avalug's Ice Body ability, along with Ash getting too impatient. After losing the battle, Ash was approached by Wulfric, who tells him that he may have trained his Greninja well, but also explains what he's been doing wrong in perfecting the Ash Greninja form. He didn't have enough faith and trust in their bond. Hearing Wulfric's words, Ash realizes why he had those issues and was left incredibly devastated for letting his fears get the better of him. Upon returning to the Pokemon Center, Ash learned that the Kalos League will take place in Lumiose City soon, which reminded him of the place where he and Greninja first met. With his confidence fully back, Ash and Greninja promised to start over again and went off to train for his rematch against Wulfric. Ash faced Wulfric in a rematch with Pikachu, Talonflame, and Greninja, and even with the surprise of Abomasnow being able to Mega Evolve, he emerged victorious, earning him his 8th and final Kalos Gym Badge. After visiting Goodra, Ash and Co made their way back to Lumiose City for the Kalos League. After making it to the semifinals, Ash brought Goodra back in order to fully fill out the requirement for a full party of 6 Pokemon. Ash defeated Sawyer in the semifinals and was prepared to face Elaine in the finals, but was approached by Lysander, Team Flare's leader. While talking to Lysander, who was interested to know about he and his Greninja's abilities, Ash explained to him about his Bond Phenomenon power. After Lysander asked him to meet back up with him once the league was over, Ash agreed, although he and his Pokemon were unaware of the destruction and devastation that was about to occur. Ash and Elaine engaged in their fierce full battle, with Elaine eventually being victorious. Afterwards, Team Flare attacks with Z2 under their command. After meeting up with Serena, Clement, and Bonnie, who tells them that Squishy went off to Prism Tower, Ash leaves with Elaine to find Myron. Once they found her, Ash and Elaine were blocked by the vines, which were growing like crazy. After Team Flare shows up, Ash assumes they were there to take Squishy again, but to his surprise, they were there to capture him instead. Ash not only gets confused as to why they were after him, but he also gets betrayed when he finds out that Elaine has been working for Team Flare. Ash tried to leave with Elaine, but all he did was resist his grip from his hand, and did nothing to help him when he got knocked out by Celosia's Drapion's Confuse Ray. After being rendered unconscious, Ash and Pikachu were captured as they were put into restraints and then taken to Prism Tower, along with the rest of Ash's Pokemon. After regaining consciousness, Ash finds himself floating mid-air, then tries to break free from his restraints. Seeing Greninja unconscious in the same restraints and hearing Pikachu waking up, Ash realizes that his Pokemon have been captured as well, and asks them if they're all okay, but Pikachu, who then regains consciousness right after he did, was the only one to respond, while the others were still out cold at the time. Hearing Lysander greeting him, Ash turns his attention to both him and Elaine, and then asks them what's going on while asking them to let him go. After Lysander refuses to release them, Ash with Pikachu sees Z2 that's under Team Flare's control, then turns to Elaine and asks him what this is about. Later, Ash and Pikachu witness Squishy transform, where they realize that their friend is also a Zygarde. After his other Pokemon regain consciousness, Ash and Pikachu both protested and defended Squishy when Lysander tells them that their friend will soon be under their control as well. Ash tries to get Elaine to say something, but he was still silent to him. Later, Ash was listening in while Lysander explains his reasons as to why he had Elaine collect Mega Evolution energy. While hearing his frustrations, Ash, who knew in his heart that he was still his friend despite everything he had done, came to realize that Elaine didn't know anything about Lysander's true plans, as he never meant to betray anybody, then sees that his only intentions were to help Myron enter Chespin. Later, Ash was told by Lysander that he wanted his ability to use Bond Phenomenon, thus he sent 2 mini devices to control him and Greninja, while their friends, Ash's other Pokemon, could only watch in shock, along with looking worried. However, hearing Pikachu's voice, Ash and Greninja fight back, and then tell Lysander that he will never control them as they will never change. While still resisting Team Flare's devices, Ash was telling Elaine that he didn't know what had happened to him, but he had to stop all this now. He also told Elaine that he didn't care about what he's done and believes in the friend that he knows. Ash tells Lysander that he really cares about this world while asking him for a battle, and then used Bond Phenomenon to break free from his restraints with Greninja. After breaking free, Ash was about to collapse to the floor from the breakout, but Elaine got there in time to catch him and thanked him for bringing him to his senses. Thanks to Elaine breaking Pikachu and the others out of their restraints with the help from his Charizard, Ash and everyone were ready to battle Lysander. Ash, Elaine, and Malva were able to defeat Lysander, but he tells them he's not done and takes a leap of faith. Later, he did everything in his power to stop the giant rock and save Myron's Chespin with Elaine, and in doing so, the giant rock stopped, but Lysander showed up to try and destroy them. Thanks to the efforts of Pikachu, Greninja, and Elaine's Charizard, they were able to destroy the control device on Lysander's arm so Zygarde could destroy the giant rock Zygarde and finish Lysander once and for all. Ash and everyone watch the sunrise as there is a new day ahead. After Team Flare's evil ambitions were finally put to an end, Ash plans on heading back to Pallet Town so he can start his training over from zero. But before doing so, he and his Pokemon received Honor of Kalos medals for his heroic efforts against Team Flare. With his journey in Kalos over, Ash bids farewell to his friends before departing for Pallet Town in Kanto. He soon arrives home where his mom was waiting for him. Sun and Moon. Ash arrives in the Alola region on vacation with his mom, which Miami won for them. After a nice Sharpedo ride, a run-in with a Bruxish that Lana caught on her line, a race with Grubbin, and then having some bad luck with a Beware, and some racing Tauros, Ash finds the Pokemon school where he meets Lily, Mallow, and Sophocles. However, Ash gets mistaken for a new student by Mallow and takes him to see Samson Oak, which conveniently leads him to Delia and Miami. After Delia gives the Cantonian Vulpix egg to Samson, Ash was shown the rest of the school by Mallow, including the classroom where he meets Professor Kukui. After the meeting, Ash witnesses Kiawe, who he saw flying on his Charizard before, being confronted by Team Skull, who challenge him to a 3-on-1 battle, the prize being his Charizard. Ash jumps in to help, defeating the Salandit and leaving the Zubat and Yungoos to be finished off by Kiawe and Turtonator's Z-move, Inferno Overdrive. After seeing all of this and receiving a Z-ring from none other than Tapu Koko itself, Ash decides to stay with Professor Kukui and Rockruff while attending the Pokemon school. On his first day at school, Ash's new classmates give him some challenges before Tapu Koko showed itself, which takes his hat before realizing it wanted to battle him in Pikachu. During the battle, Ash was shown how to use the Z-move Gigavolt Havoc by Tapu Koko, with Pikachu using the move, but the Z-Crystal shattered due to not doing the island trial. After Tapu Koko left, Ash was told of the island trials by classmates, which he decided to take on to get another Z-Crystal, with his classmate giving their full support for him. The next day, Ash was given a blank Pokédex by Professor Kukui to get info on the Pokemon in the Alola region. After receiving his Pokédex, Ash had a Rotom inhabit it as it changes into a Rotom Pokédex. At school, Ash introduces Rotom Dex to his friends and they all want to go find his first Alolan Pokemon to catch. While trying to catch a Pokemon, Ash gets a surprise attack by Team Rocket, who tried to take Pikachu again, but failed when the Beware that he saw when he was exploring on his first day in the region takes them away. Ash was able to catch a Rowlet, his first Alolan Pokemon, after befriending it when it got hungry as he instantly bonded with him and they wanted to be with each other. Ash meets Hala, the island Kakuna of Melee Melee Island, where he gives him the task of figuring out how to get rid of the Alolan Rattata and their evolved form Alolan Raticate, as they're causing problems on the island. With the help of his friends, Ash figured out how to solve this problem by asking Yungoos and their evolved form Gumshoos for help, as they once drove them off before. Ash was taken to the Verdant Cavern by Hala, where he would take the island trial, and won when the totem Pokemon Gumshoos gave him a Normalium Z-Crystal. After winning the trial, Ash asked Gumshoos, along with its allies, for their help to take care of the Rattata and Raticate, which they did as they were drove off once again. Ash was accepted to a grand trial battle against Hala. After that, Ash was to do his grand trial against Kahuna Hala, which their battle was a 2-on-2 battle. Through the hard work of Rowlet and Pikachu, Ash won his grand trial. However, Ash was about to accept the Phytinium Z-Crystal as his reward, but Tapu Koko swapped it for the Electrium Z-Crystal for his reward instead. Ash catches Rockruff, the Pokemon Professor Kukui was taking care of, after helping it win a battle. Sometime after, Ash and Pikachu got challenged to another battle by Tapu Koko, but the force of the battle caused Pikachu to fall off a cliff, with Ash trying to save him, but Tapu Koko saved them both with no winner. Ash declared that they would get stronger and win the next time they battle. Ash and Pikachu went to an island named Treasure Island to spend time together, during which they got to see Tapu Lele, the island guardian of Akala Island. Then Ash and his Pokemon come across Litten, who he'd seen a few times before. Again, but this time he finds it was Stoutland in its new home. Ash sees that Stoutland was trying to teach Litten Fire Fang, but to no success. Sometime later, Ash was asked by the Litten for his help as an ailing mentor had fallen ill. Ash takes Stoutland to the Pokemon Center, but only to find out it's nearing the end of its life and wonder if Litten knows. Ash decides to keep them company, but finds out that the pair have gone back to their home. After Stoutland passed, Ash, with his Pokemon, kept Litten company for a while at its home. Ash became happy to see Litten is feeling better, then battled it with no winner. Despite no winner in the battle, Ash sees that Litten, who wants to grant its mentor one last wish, wants to join him, then caught it. Ash came across Gladion, Lily's brother, thus becoming rivals and good friends. Although through Gladion, Ash learns and decided that he'll take on the Grand Trial on Akala Island to get Rockium Z, so he can use Rock-type Z moves. However, Ash was going to get his wish when he and his classmates are taking a field trip to Akala Island, but before they did, they meet the island Kahuna of Akala Island, Olivia. Ash then went with Mallow to collect cooking herbs when Totem Lurantis challenged him. Ash won and defeated Lurantis and received the Gracium Z, then ate dinner with his friends, Professor Kukui and Olivia. After Ash got the Gracium Z, they challenged Kahuna Olivia with Rowlet and Rockruff, while Olivia used Midday Lycanroc and Probopass as their battle is a double battle. After defeating her, Ash received the Rockium Z so Rockruff could use Continental Crush. That night, Ash and Pikachu went looking for Rockruff, who ran off to train, but found it covered in dust from Tapu Lele. After Rockruff got away again, Ash and Co went to find him with Professor Kukui and Olivia. Ash, with his group, found Rockruff with Olivia and Gladion's Lycanroc at the Ruins of Life with Tapu Lele, who tried to heal it but failed the first time. Ash passed out when Tapu Lele used Drain Kiss on him and the 2 Lycanroc, which helped heal Rockruff along with giving the energy back to them. After recovering from the energy drain, Ash witnesses Rockruff evolve into Dusk Lycanroc right before he and Co went back to Melee Island with Professor Kukui. After their field trip, Ash and Lycanroc were using the Rockium Z against Team Rocket but failed to do so. After Kiawe took care of Team Rocket, Ash and Lycanroc did some training to help them perfect the Z move. Ash did Rockium Z correctly when Team Rocket came back for another battle against them. Ash returns to Kanto with his classmates for an extracurricular lesson where he reunites with his longtime friends, Misty and Brock. After arriving in Pallet Town, Ash reunites with some of his Pokémon under Professor Oak's care. After dealing with Team Rocket again, along with falling asleep from Jigglypuff's song, Ash and everyone were treated to a welcome party with his mom there as well. The next day, Ash and everyone headed off to the Cerulean Gym located in Cerulean City, where they got a chance to battle Misty or Brock. Ash decided to battle Misty in a one-on-one battle, with him being the winner of the battle, then everyone headed back to Alola that evening. Also, Ash tells Misty and Brock to come visit them sometime, which they accepted. One night, Ash has a dream where he promises the legendary Pokémon Solgaleo and Lunala. However, Ash couldn't recall it the next morning. While heading to school, Ash and Pikachu saw Tapu Koko coming back as they follow it, then saw an unknown Pokémon which helped him remember the promise he made to the Cosmic Duo. Ash brought it to school to show everyone, then Lily nicknamed it Nebby, with everyone liking the name, and so they all agreed to call it Nebby. Ash helped Nebby find something it would like to eat, but it didn't like anything they gave it at all, until Sophocles provided a bag of star candies which it liked a lot. Ash and Lily were heading to Professor Kukui's house when they see a helicopter on the beach, as Professor Kukui explained that they have visitors who want to see them. Ash meets Lusamine, Lily and Gladion's mother, and the president of the Aether Foundation, along with Professor Burnett, Wick, and Faba, as they all came to meet Nebby. Ash shows Nebby to Lusamine, where she concludes that it's an Ultra Beast, then Professor Burnett explains about the Ultra Beast and the battle they had with the Tapu Guardians. Ash tells them the dream he had that night about the promise he made to the Cosmic Duo after seeing an image of the Altar of the Sun. Although Lusamine and Wick offered to take care of Nebby, Ash declined their offer due to the promise to take care of Nebby. After Lily and Professor Kukui assured Lusamine that he is a very trusting trainer, as they tell her about all the accomplishments he has in Alola, Ash was allowed to take care of Nebby, and Lusamine offered to help him whenever he needed it. Ash has some awesome adventures with Nebby, especially when it learned Teleport, as it teleported him and his friends to various places minus Lily. Ash got to go to the Aether Paradise with his friends, which is where the Aether Foundation is located, as he got to see Lusamine, Wick, Faba, and Professor Burnett again. By accident, when Nebby teleported him, Ash meets up with Gladion again, after he thought about him with Pikachu and Lycanroc, where he meets his type, Null, nicknamed Silvally. Ash tells Gladion that Lily is doing well. Also during the conversation, Gladion explained why Lily is afraid of touching Pokemon due to an Ultra Beast attacking her when she was little, and his Silvally saved them. Ash wonders why Lily never explained this, but Gladion believes that the trauma she suffered caused her to repress the memory of those events. Ash was asked a lot of questions by Gladion, as he is curious as to why the Cosmic Duo chose him to take care of Nebby, about his Dusk Lycanroc, what powers does he possess, and what kind of influences does he have on Pokemon. However, Ash doesn't have all the answers to Gladion's questions, but decided to have a battle, as Team Rocket interrupted before, and he believes that this will help him answer his questions. Understanding the idea, he accepts his challenge. Ash with Lycanroc put up a good fight against Silvally, but then lost. Gladion understood more about him, but also had him promise not to tell anyone he saw him, especially Lily, which he understood and promised he wouldn't say anything. Ash was hanging out with Professor Kukui and Professor Burnett, who came to give Nebby a checkup along with his Pokemon. Then Kiawe, Lana, Lily, Mallow, and Sophocles came over as they're having a sleepover at Professor Kukui's house. Ash invited Professor Burnett to join them, and she gladly accepts as everyone gets settled in. Ash suggests having a contest to see who gets to sleep in the loft, as Sophocles and the girls want to sleep up there. Finding Nebby is the contest. After the contest, with the girls being the winner due to Nebby popping out of Lily's hat and into her arm, freezing her in fear, they play a game called Z Possess press 1, 2, 3. They play a game, but Kiawe got carried away and used Inferno Overdrive, messing up the place. Ash, Mallow, Lily, and Professor Burnett make dinner, while Professor Kukui has the rest help him clean up the place. Just when everyone was about to eat, Professor Burnett's Munchlax swooped in and ate everything, prompting the two professors to go out and get something to eat for everyone while the others wait. While waiting, Ash and everyone decide to do some training for a Pokemon battle to help him forget how hungry they were. After eating, they all talked about how amazing Professor Burnett is, along with talking about the homemade food at Kiawe and Sophocles' place, right before going to sleep. The next day, everyone is walking along, then Ash and everyone become stunned when Lily couldn't touch Pokemon again, even Snowy, as Nebby teleported her to Gladion's location where she saw his type Null, which triggered a memory from her past. At night, Ash was at the beach getting scolded by Gladion for having Nebby bring Lily to where he was, then apologizes for its action. The next day at school, Ash and everyone cheer Lily up and then witness her try to touch Snowy but get scared. However, Ash and everyone praised Lily for her courage. After school was done, Ash, Nebby, Pikachu, and Rotom decided to take a walk with Lily and Snowy. While walking, Ash was asked by Lily if he saw Gladion, which he admits that he did, and he explains that he didn't want her to see Silvally, then told how upset he was, which got his friend to laugh due to knowing her brother. Ash hears Lily tell him that when she saw Silvally, it brought back a memory from her past. Not wanting to see his best friend down, Ash cheers Lily up by having Rotom show a video of Pikachu doing an imitation, which worked. However, Ash also unknowingly encouraged Lily to not give up on getting over her fear of touching Pokemon, as she decided to remember her past. Then they were all teleported by Nebby, who decided to help her. Being teleported from one place to another, Ash got to see all the places Lily and her family did together before her mother, Lusamine, got busy with her work. Everyone was then teleported to Lily and Gladion's childhood room located at the Aether Foundation. After being teleported to Lusamine's room, Ash realized that Nebby wants to grant Lily's wish, as she wanted to remember everything when they were brought to the Aether Foundation's basement, which is strictly forbidden for anyone other than Aether Foundation employees. While going through the basement further, Ash, Pikachu, Nebby, and Snowy minus Rotom were pushed into a wall by Faba's Pokemon, as Lily was grabbed by Faba, who didn't want her to remember her past. Ash, Nebby, Pikachu, and Snowy tried to save Lily, minus Rotom, as it went to get some help by pulling the alarm, but Faba's Hypno held them down with Psychic. Everyone was rescued by Gladion and his Silvally, and then became glad when Lily, who remembered everything from her past, touched Silvally, thus putting an end to her fear of touching Pokemon for good. Ash told Lily how happy he was for her, and then was thanked for his help. After helping Lily get over her fear of touching Pokemon, Ash, Gladion, and Lily went back to Aether Paradise when Nebby got kidnapped by Faba, who wanted it to open an Ultra Wormhole. Meeting up with Lusamine, Ash and everyone were able to rescue Nebby, but it evolved, which caused the Ultra Wormhole to open. Ash and everyone see Nihilego come out of the Ultra Wormhole and then become stunned when the Ultra Beast took Lusamine away, who sacrificed herself to protect Lily and Gladion. While heading back to Melee Island, Ash offered to help Lily and Gladion find Lusamine. However, Ash was told no by Gladion, as he tells that the situation is a family matter. After arriving back to Melee Island, Ash heads back to Professor Kukui's house for the night. The next day, Ash was still worried about Nebby, as it hadn't moved since it evolved. Then Kiawe, Lana, Mallow, and Sophocles came over to check on him. Ash tells his friends about what happened at Aether Paradise, as they become shocked that Lusamine was taken away through an Ultra Wormhole. Then they all hear more shocking news as Hobbs comes in with Professor Kukui to tell them that Lily and Gladion are gone. Knowing that they're trying to find a way to rescue Lusamine, Ash and everyone head over to Hala's house for some idea on where to go. Hearing Hala explain about the Altar of the Sun and about Solgaleo, Ash remembers being in their dream where he promises the cosmic duo that he would take care of Nebby. Ash and everyone head to Pony Island, where the Altar of the Sun lies, to catch up with Lily and Gladion as they want to rescue Lusamine. After catching up to them, Ash tells them about their reason of being here, despite Gladion telling him that it's a family matter. But Ash and Lily were able to change his opinions, and so he lets them come along in their quest to rescue Lusamine. While looking for Solgaleo, as it can open up Ultra Wormholes at the Altar of the Sun, Ash and everyone come across the Tapu Guardians instead, surprising them. Ash became amazed and shocked when the Tapu Guardians showed him and his friends that they were the ones who brought Nebby to Melee Island for him to find and take care of. Later, Ash became excited when Nebby evolved into Solgaleo, then was given a Solganium Z, as they needed to use a Z move to make the Ultra Wormhole. However, the Z Crystal didn't fit in Ash's ring, so the Tapu Guardian encases it for him and then gave it back to him. Ash, Gladion, Kiawe, Lana, Lily, Mallow, and Sophocles all get on Solgaleo's back, then Ash performs Searing Sunray's Smash. After performing the Z move, Ash and his friends enter the Ultra Wormhole, leaving both Professor Kukui and Professor Burnett, who also arrived to Pony Island to help them find Lusamine, behind. Making it to the destination where Nihilego lives, Ash and everyone find Lusamine fused, but they were blocked off by Lusamine's Pokemon, who were stopping them from getting close to her, as everyone but Ash, Pikachu, and Solgaleo kept going while the others battled the Pokemon. Ash, with Pikachu and Solgaleo, were able to get Lusamine as they tried to save her. Just when Ash was having a hard time getting through to Lusamine, Lily and Gladion came to Ash's aid. Ash became shocked shocked when Gladion tells them that they need to stop Nihilego and free Lusamine, because her Pokemon will keep getting back up without end. Ash and Gladion hear Lily give a speech to help get through to Lusamine, which worked, but Nihilego refused to let her go. Ash's Electrium Z temporarily transforms into Pikachunium Z, then he and Pikachu perform the Z moves 10 million volt Thunderbolt, which stops Nihilego and freed Lusamine and her Pokemon. Ash, Gladion, and Lily reunite with their friends as he tells them that they were able to save Lusamine, then return to the Altar of the Sun, where they reunite with Professor Kukui and Professor Burnett. Ash wonders where Solgaleo, or Nebby, is, as it returned to the wild, as it left without giving him a thank you for its help, and then greets Lily, who took some time off from her school to be with her mother, as she thanks him for everything for their help in rescuing Lusamine. Later, at Professor Kukui's house, Ash becomes stunned but happy that Professor Kukui and Professor Burnett are getting married. The next day, Ash tells Kiawe, Lana, Lily, Mallow, and Sophocles about the news, much to the girls' joy. Although the girls were hoping for a wedding, Ash tells them and the rest of the boys that the professors aren't going to do a wedding ceremony, disappointing them. Ash, Kiawe, and Sophocles were in on the girls' idea of doing a surprise wedding as a gift for the professors. The night before the wedding, Ash was approached by Gladion and tells him that he's going to go to the other island trials, but does ask him to congratulate the professors on their marriage for him and then leaves. Ash goes to wake up Professor Kukui at his house and then brings him outside to see that they have a wedding, as Professor Burnett tells him that it's a gift from his students, which makes him very happy that his students did it for him. Ash attends the wedding, then Lusamine came to them and asked the group to join an elite group called the Ultra Guardians, which they all accepted. Also, they got to see Solgaleo, Nebby, flying up in the sky, where Ash gets his chance to thank it for its help and he'll know he'll see it again one day. Ash goes to Ula Ula Island for the very first time with his friends as they arrive at Mount Lanakila, where Hala's Crabrawler is going to evolve into a Crabominable. Later on their trip to Mount Lanakila, Ash participated in the Poke Sled Jump Tournament, where he tried to use his Z-move Gigavolt Havoc for his performance, but failed. Ash was pleased to see that Hala won the tournament and got to see the prize he won, a sled. Ash and his classmates were listening to Sophocles give a presentation on the Hokulani Observatory that his cousin, Molane, runs at Mount Hokulani on Ula Ula Island. Also, Professor Kukui told the class that Sophocles' cousin is a friend of his. Ash suggests to Professor Kukui that they should make a field trip to the observatory sometime. After the presentation, Ash and his friends were getting ready to have lunch, but see Pikachu is not present, then they all search for him. When Rowlet left campus to keep searching for Pikachu through the air, Ash with his other Pokemon left campus as well to go look for Pikachu by ground. Ash found Pikachu with Rowlet and an Ultra Beast, and they were about to be captured by Team Rocket, but he, with his Pokemon, arrived just in time to save them. After dealing with Team Rocket, Ash brought the Ultra Beast back with them as it was given the name Poipole. Also, Lusamine assigns him to be its partner until they can find the Ultra Wormhole it came from. Ash showed Poipole how Pokeballs work, as it believed that he was playing with it. After showing his intentions, Ash made one final attempt to catch it, but it jumps right in as it had already grown fond of him and his Pokemon. Ash with his Pokemon were all playing at Professor Kukui's house and then became impressed when Poipole drew a picture of Pikachu. Ash, Kiawe, Lana, Lily, and Mallow all go with Sophocles to Bamboo Hill, as he made a discovery while camping with his parents. Ash and everyone all dug it up as they spent hours doing so and then came to the conclusion that it is an Ultra Beast when they dug it up all the way. The next day, with the girls, Ash and Kiawe became shocked when Sophocles told them that the Ultra Beast was in the ground for 200 years. Then they were called for an Ultra Guardian mission. After explaining to Lusamine that they already knew about Celesteela, the Ultra Beast name, as they told her they dug it up the other day, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians headed back to Bamboo Hill so they can send Celesteela home. However, Team Rocket tried to steal Celesteela, but they were stopped. Ash, Kiawe, Lana, Lily, Mallow, and Sophocles waved goodbye as they were able to help the Ultra Beast blast off when it flew to the moon, due to the Ultra Wormhole it came from being there. Hearing Professor Kukui dream about making a league in Alola, Ash gets fired up. Ash left by boat for Ula Ula Island so he can do its grand trial. After arriving, Ash meets the island kahuna of Ula Ula Island, Nanu, and his friend Acerola. Also through her, he got to hear a tale about the Radiant One, who brought light to Alola. Ash did a pre-trial battle against Nanu, but lost when Lycanroc, who goes berserk when its fur gets dirty, went out of control. Despite Nanu telling him to go back to Melee Island, Ash decided to stay and train. That evening, Ash decided to go see Tapu Bulu, the island guardian of Ula Ula Island, for training through an idea from Acerola. Ash goes to the Ruins of Abundance with Acerola so they can ask Tapu Bulu for help in his training. After going all the way to the top, Ash meets Tapu Bulu and asks for its help. Ash was excited when Rowlet learned Razor Leaf when it was struck by the power of the trees Tapu Bulu planted. When it started to rain, Ash played with Pikachu, Poipole, and Rowlet, then saw Lycanroc going berserk again when Tapu Bulu pushed him out in the rain. However, Ash calmed Lycanroc down by reminding him of the bond they both share and that he really cares about him for exactly the way he is. After that, Ash with Lycanroc battled Tapu Bulu where it learned Stone Edge, but the battle was called off by the Island Guardian. Ash was pleased by the training he did with his Pokemon as he and everyone were given Oran Berries by Tapu Bulu. Ash goes to Nanu for a pre-trial battle rematch, which he agreed to do for him, but his opponent is at the Thrifty Mega Mart, an abandoned site. Ash with Acerola, who's referring to the battle, go to the site Nanu told him to go to, but they find that Team Rocket is also there. Ash becomes shocked to hear that the Team Rocket trio are his opponents for his pre-trial rematch, but he accepts the challenge. Ash ended up winning when Pikachu learned Electro Web and used 100 million volt Thunderbolt again to win the battle. After Nanu arrived at the Thrifty Mega Mart, Ash is accepted to do a grand trial battle with Nanu. Arriving back to the Ruins of Abundance for his grand trial battle, Ash became surprised to hear that Nanu's grand trial battle will be a 1-on-3 battle, but he accepts his terms as he uses Lycanroc for his battle. However, Ash wasn't sure that Lycanroc had his rage under control as he told it to stay calm during the battle. Ash becomes upset when Nanu, who realizes that he was doubting his Pokemon, insults his skills as a trainer, but Lycanroc tackled him as it not only wanted to get him to calm down, but to show that he's been under control of its red eye state the whole time. Seeing this, Ash apologizes to Lycanroc for doubting him and for letting Nanu's insults go to his head. After exchanges of Z-move, Ash won the grand trial and was given Lycanium Z, a Z crystal specifically for Lycanroc. Returning to Ula Ula Island for a field trip to the Hokulani Observatory located at Mount Hokulani, Ash, Kiawe, Lana, Lily, and Mallow all meet Molayne, Sophocles' cousin, and Professor Kukui's best friend. Ash and Kiawe and the girls were given a tour of the observatory and they all got to look at the telescope. Later, Ash became amazed by the miner at Starfall Hill where his Poipole found one still in its shell, then he and Kiawe brought it back to the observatory. After the miner shell was able to open, Ash and everyone spent the day playing with it, but when night fell they saw more miner and then saw them all fade away, even the one they were playing with. Ash comforts Poipole after seeing the miner it befriended fade away, then saw a Rayquaza in the sky. After their field trip at the Hokulani Observatory, they all head back home. Ash and his friends head over to the Pokemon Paradise Resort, as Lusamine got them a reservation for the resort, where their ride Pokemon can get a treatment due to all the hard work they do. Arriving at the resort, Ash and everyone have the workers at the resort look at their ride Pokemon as to what treatment they need. After sorting out what their ride Pokemon needed, Ash and everyone headed over to the hot springs to relax, before everyone went with their ride Pokemon to get their respective treatment. Ash with Mallow and their ride Pokemon go to the stress course to help them relieve their stress. However, they all ended up being caught in a net by Team Rocket, then witnessed them almost making off with their Pokemon, but all the ride Pokemon saved them. After Team Rocket was taken care of, Ash and everyone head over to the flower bath. One morning, Ash notices that both of the professors are acting very strange when he sees them not their usually happy and upbeat selves. At school, Ash was informed by his classmates that their parents and Lily's butler, Hobbs, are acting the same way. After Professor Kukui left due to not being motivated to teach class, Ash hears Kiawe explain about the upcoming Manalo Festival that happens once every 21 years. Ash explains how he heard about the blinding one from Acerola when he was on Ula Ula Island, then hears Lily explain the story to everyone. After school got out, Ash and Kiawe did some training but couldn't do their Z move, which got them confused as to why they couldn't. Later, Ash and everyone sees that the clouds are getting darker, then they were called in for an Ultra Guardian mission. Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians head over to Pony Island to meet up with Lusamine, Wick, and Faba, who are also acting strange, and Professor Burnett too. When they arrive at the Altar of the Sun on Pony Island, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians are joined by Gladion, who also became an Ultra Guardian. It's explained that the Ultra Aura has been decreasing, and because of it, it left a side effect on all adults, which makes them their not usual selves. Informed that the side effect doesn't affect children in Pokemon, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians were informed of a small Ultra Wormhole, but couldn't determine where it is due to the clouds being in the way. Ash, Gladion, Kiawe, and Lana use their Z move to help get one of Faba's machines to work, as it can remove the clouds. After clearing the clouds, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians went with Lusamine to the new ruins that the Aether Foundation found at the Altar of the Sun. However, Ash and everyone were called back by Wick when she tells them that something is coming out of the Ultra Wormhole. Arriving back, Ash and everyone see Lunala coming out of the Ultra Wormhole and then saw an unknown Pokemon coming out as well. Sensing Lunala in trouble, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians head over to Melee to help with the legendary Pokemon. Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians did the best they could to stop the unknown Pokemon from hurting Lunala, but it ended up getting absorbed by it. When Team Rocket tried to catch Lunala while under the unknown Pokemon's control, Ash was almost electrocuted by the net that they used, after the possessed Lunala broke free from it, but Solgaleo, or Nebby, came to the rescue. Ash became happy to see Solgaleo again, as he tells it how much he missed it, and then witness it free Lunala from the unknown Pokemon's control. After Lunala collapsed onto the beach and the unknown Pokemon collapsed in the ocean, Ash with Gladion saved Lunala and Solgaleo, who went to check on its friend friend from Team Rocket, who tried to catch both of them. When the unknown Pokemon came out of the ocean and possessed Solgaleo, Ash tried to chase after it as he wanted to save his friends, but the Ultra Wormhole closed before he could go after it. Seeing all the adults back to normal, Ash and everyone head back to base so Lunala could recover. While at the base, Ash and everyone witness Lunala recovering, and they all find out that the Aether Foundation decide to call the unknown Pokemon UB Black. Ash becomes furious when he finds out that it was Team Rocket who tried to take the Cosmic Duo. While watching over Lunala, Ash, Gladion, Kiawe, and Lana witnessed their Z-Rings glow, which restored the rest of Lunala's strength. After Lunala recovered and seeing its determination to help Solgaleo, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians dispatch as they followed Lunala through an Ultra Wormhole that the legendary Pokemon created. Passing through the Ultra Wormhole and seeing more Poipole, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians help care for Naganadel, Poipole's evolved form. Through Naganadel's telepathy, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians were explained about Necrozma, UB Black, and the Blinding One's real name. Also how their world became as it is now. Also, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians were informed as to why Ash's Poipole came to their world. Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians watched Lunala fight a possessed Solgaleo. Wanting to help the Cosmic Duo out, Ash, Gladion, Kiawe, and Lana used their Z moves in hopes that Necrozma would release Solgaleo. However, Ash, Gladion, Kiawe, and Lana's Z moves didn't work as they had hoped because it made Necrozma stronger. After getting a call from Lusamine and explaining to her the situation, Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians, with everyone else in Alola, share their Z power to Necrozma, which successfully sets Solgaleo free from it. To help fully restore Necrozma to its true form, Ash and Gladion, with the island's kahunas, use their Z move, which give Necrozma enough power to restore both its true form and Poipole's home world. After Poipole's home world was restored, Ash had to say goodbye to his Poipole as it decided to stay where it belongs, which he understands. Before leaving for home, Ash sees that Poipole made one final drawing of him and Pikachu as its way of saying how much it cares about them. Ash and the rest of the Ultra Guardians waved goodbye to their friend and then returned to Alola. Wanting to get stronger for his last grand trial on Pony Island, Ash and Pikachu encounter Tapu Koko again where they battle it once more. However, Ash with Pikachu were accidentally sent to a parallel world when Tapu Koko and a shiny Tapu Koko from the parallel world used an electric attack at the same time, which created a crack between the worlds. During their visit, Ash with Pikachu encountered Dia and his partner Zeraora, a mythical Pokemon, when they come across Guzzlord, who happens to be an Ultra Beast. Ash and Pikachu listened to Dia's story when he told them how Guzzlord came to his world and how it also destroyed his world. After arriving at the base, Ash and Pikachu were in shock that his base is the Pokemon school. Dia explained to Ash that he and Pikachu got sent to a parallel world. Despite being told no into helping them stop Guzzlord, Ash and Pikachu decided to train anyway, which inspired Dia with Zeraora to join them so they can battle the Ultra Beast. When Guzzlord was approaching them, Ash with Pikachu joined Dia and Zeraora and sent the Ultra Beast back through the Ultra Wormhole for good. With Dia and the two Tapu Koko's help, Ash and Pikachu were sent back to their world. Through a surprise announcement by Lana, Ash reunites with Misty and Brock once more. After Brock offers to stay and help Nurse Joy at the Pokemon Center, Ash and his classmates show Misty their favorite spots. While the girls were showing Misty their favorite jewelry store, Ash, Kiawe, and Sophocles waited outside for them, where they spotted the Pokéride Mantine surfing. Hearing that Misty, Lana, and Mallow were interested in Mantine surfing, with Sophocles adding about doing it, Ash suggested going into Treasure Island as their destination to surf to. Ash and his friends all had a great time surfing as everyone jumped on the waves, minus Lily, Mallow, and Sophocles. After arriving on the island, Ash showed his friends around it. However, Ash and his friends had to stop Team Rocket from stealing the Mantine when they showed up once again to cause trouble. After freeing the Mantine, Ash, Kiawe, and Lana used their Z moves, with Misty boosting their moves by having her Mega Gyarados use Hydro Pump to blast Team Rocket off. Ash and Misty meet back up with Brock, where he had dinner made for all of them. Ash and his classmates take Misty and Brock to Akala Island to see Kiawe's family farm. After showing the family farm, Ash with his classmates introduce Misty and Brock to Olivia. Watching a battle between Olivia and Brock, Ash with his friends, minus Olivia and Brock, were captured by Team Rocket when they arrived to capture their Pokemon. Thanks to Olivia and Brock's teamwork, Ash and his friends were set free from Team Rocket. After this, Ash and his friends watch a firework display, then had to say goodbye to his longtime friends, but they vow to come back and visit someday. Later, Ash and his classmates arrive on Pony Island to do their research projects for school. Ash was planning to do his last grand trial battle as his project, but couldn't because there was no island kahuna. Despite having no island kahuna, Ash decided to battle Tapu Fini for his grand trial battle instead. While exploring the island, Ash and his classmates met Hapu, who is the granddaughter of one of the previous island kahuna of Pony Island. Island. Ash kept asking Hapu for a battle, but he ended up getting kicked by her Mudsdale when he annoyed her. Ash asked for the grand trial, but she told him that she needed to complete a ritual to be official. After witnessing Hapu's ritual to become the island kahuna, Ash hangs at the beach with his friends before going to the grand trial battle. Once the grand trial battle came, Ash chose Pikachu as his Pokemon to battle Hapu in a one-on-one battle. Despite the type disadvantage Pikachu had, Ash was able to come up with an idea to beat Hapu, which was to get her Mudsdale wet and then used Gigavolt Havoc to finish it off. Ash was excited that he won his last grand trial when Hapu presents him with a box filled with Z crystals, where he will choose his prize. Wanting to thank his best friend for all his hard work, Ash lets Pikachu decide which Z crystal they should have, where he chooses Steelium Z as their reward for winning the grand trial of Pony Island. With their research projects done, Ash and his friends say goodbye to Hapu before they head back with Professor Kukui to Melee Island. Ash and his classmates headed over to Aether Paradise as Professor Kukui was going to make an announcement. They announced Alola's first ever Pokémon League, with the Aether Foundation and the Island Kahuna sponsoring it. Ash, Kiawe, Lana, and Sophocles all plan to enter due to being a league where everyone can participate, while Lily and Mallow were going to consider entering. Ash and his classmates returned to Ula Ula Island for a 2-day trip to Mali City. When they got there, Ash and his friends went to Mali Garden for some sightseeing. During their visit, Ash and his friends visit the Cantonian gym where he battles Ryuki, the gym leader. Ash's battle was a one-on-one battle, but was changed into a double battle when Meltan interfered due to being upset about how Rowlet was losing. Thanks to Rowlet learning Brave Bird and a combination move with Meltan's Flash Cannon, Ash was able to beat Ryuki and got a souvenir badge from him. After visiting the Cantonian gym, Ash and his friends head back to Melee Island. Arriving to return a frying pan he borrowed from Mallow, Ash noticed that Olivia was helping at Mallow's family restaurant, and then was informed that his friend was off doing an errand. After Rotom pointed out that Olivia might have a hard time helping due to being clumsy, Ash decided to help out in the family restaurant as well. While helping, Ash noticed that Kiawe arrived with a Moo Moo milk delivery as he told him that his timing was perfect, and his friend joined in helping when he noticed Olivia was also helping out as well. After Kiawe told the arriving Lana, Lily, and Sophocles that they needed help, Ash and everyone helped keep the restaurant running until Mallow's return. However, Ash and his friends were all exhausted from the customers that came, and they told the returning Mallow that they had a ton of people come to the restaurant while she was away. After Mallow's father, who was grateful for the assistance, told their friend that the restaurant got taken care of thanks to them, Ash, Olivia, Kiawe, Lana, Lily, and Sophocles were informed that their friend helped out in the Forest Cafe a lot, then got a Gracium Z and a Z-Ring for helping. Ash, Kiawe, and Lana trained their Z moves for the Alola League, while the rest of their friends practiced their Z poses. Also, Ash accompanies Kiawe and Sophocles to a Z move training boot camp. Ash and Kiawe both help Sophocles perfect his Z moves. When Kiawe came up with a way to help Sophocles, Ash stood out of the way during the whole ordeal, but was pleased to see that his friend perfected his moves. While at school, Ash and his classmates were trying to cut Makiwara by using Pokemon moves. However, Ash and his friends were called in for an Ultra Guardians mission. After entering the base, Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians were shocked that the Meltan living with the Clefable have multiplied. Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians were informed of the new Ultra Beast, Kartana. Then they embark on their mission to find it. When they did find it, it was about to cut the Pokemon school. Ash stopped the Ultra Beast from doing it and convinced it that not everyone wants things cut. After trying to catch it and witness how it defeated Team Rocket so easily, Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians were told to cancel the mission due to a meteor getting ready to hit Alola. Hearing the meteor was going to hit the Pokemon school, and despite being told to evacuate, Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians refused to run away as they decided to stop the meteor. Using their ride Pokemon to get on the meteor, Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians have their Pokemon cool it down and then have some of them cut it. When their plans didn't work, Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians were running out of ideas, but the Ultra Beast arrived to cut the meteor, which saved Alola. Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians were scolded by Professor Burnett for putting themselves in danger like that, but was happy that it worked out and that they were alright. Seeing that Ultra Beast was getting to leave, Ash and his fellow Ultra Guardians bid it farewell. Ash, Kiawe, Lana, Mallow, and Sophocles headed over to Lily's for the Z-move training. While there, they're introduced to Magirna by Lily, as she explains to them that it was a gift from her father. While training, Ash gave some advice to Lily while she was having trouble on how to feel while using a Z-move. However, Ash and everyone were called in by Hobbs as Professor Kukui was officially announcing the completion of the Alola League Stadium. Ash, Kiawe, and Lana became fired up when they hear that the winner of the league will have a special match against the Masked Royal. While continuing the training, Ash witnesses his best friend perfecting her Z move and was excited that Lily did it, and was also happy that he was able to help her. Arriving at Manalo Stadium, Ash and his friends get ready to participate in the league. While checking out the stadium, Ash meets up with Hao and was introduced to his newly evolved Decidueye. Hearing Team Team Skull's plans to destroy the League and hearing about Professor Kukui's past with Guzma, Ash and his friends all plan to stop Team Skull from destroying it after hearing about them participating in the League as well. During an opening fest for the League, Ash and his friends meet up with Gladion again. Ash and his friends were told that the preliminary round will be a battle royale by the Masked Royal. After getting through the preliminary round, Ash was one of the 16 trainers to make it to the finals, where he'll be battling Faba. Ash was originally going to use Pikachu against Faba, but he had his Hypno use Psychic to bring out Meltan instead. Through the use of Meltan's ability to eat metal and its Flash Cannon attack, Ash was able to defeat Faba and move on to the quarterfinals. After his battle, Ash watched all the other matches. He kept watching the rest of the matches until they revealed the lineup for the quarterfinals, where he'd be battling against Hau. Ash used his Rowlet against Hau's Decidueye, which was clearly a disadvantage for him. Both Pokemon at one stage were down during the battle, and since Rowlet did not budge an inch after Hau's Decidueye got up, Nanu announced Hau as the winner, only for it to be overturned by Hala, as Rowlet had fallen asleep. Ash used the second chance to finally defeat Hau using Rowlet's Brave Bird, thus winning the battle. After the battle, both rivals applauded each other and promised to battle again. Ash watched all the rest of the matches for the quarterfinals. After the semi-final matches were revealed, Ash was surprised when he saw he was to face Guzma in the semi-finals. Before his match in the semi-finals, Ash watched the other semi-final battle of Kiawe and Gladion. After his friend's battle concluded and Gladion was the victor, Ash battled Guzma in the second battle of the semi-finals. Ash was able to defeat one of Guzma's bug-type Pokemon with Torracat's help, due to having the type advantage. However, Ash was bummed that Torracat got knocked out, but praised it for the hard-fought battle, and then sent out Pikachu to battle Guzma. Although their Z-move did some damage to it, Ash and Pikachu had to finish the battle with all they got, which they did. After defeating Guzma, Ash gets ready for the finals against Gladion. Before the finals, Ash greets his mother, Delia, and Professor Oak as they came to watch him in the finals. Also, Ash, his mother, Professor Oak, Kukui, and Burnett witness all the other Meltan arrive, and then gives the other its location. Ash and everyone witnessed them all merge, which led Meltan to evolve into Melmetal. Starting the finals, Ash brought out Melmetal and it gave its all, but was knocked down by Gladion's Silvally. Ash had Pikachu battle it and defeated it, but then he had to go up against Zoroark, who happened to be his and Lily's father's Pokemon. After a clash with Z-moves, Ash and Gladion were shocked that their Pokemon knocked each other out. Using their Lycanroc, Ash and Gladion gave everything they had. However, Ash was able to beat Gladion and became the first champion of Alola. After getting his league trophy, Ash and his friends noticed that an Ultra Wormhole had opened, which a familiar Ultra Beast, Guzzlord, appeared. After telling everyone about the Ultra Beast's weak spot, Ash helped get everyone to safety. At the pier with the Masked Royal, Ash noticed another Ultra Wormhole with another Ultra Beast, which was Guzzlord. Ash and the Masked Royal fight off long enough to get it close to the Ultra Wormhole, but his friend Pokemon was knocked out before they could finish. However, Ash noticed another Ultra Wormhole in which another Ultra Beast, Naganadel, popped out of. Ash didn't recognize it at first, but when Pikachu showed the Ultra Guardian pendant, it's when he realized that his old friend Poipole had evolved into Naganadel. Seeing that Naganadel knows Thunderbolt and that the Masked Royal has an Electrium Z, Ash and his friend used Gigavolt Havoc to send the Ultra Beast back through the Ultra Wormhole. However, Ash and Rotom became shocked when they see that the Masked Royal is Professor Kukui, after his mask was sent flying due to the strong force of the Z-moves, with Naganadel along with Pikachu being witnesses as well. Although he was shocked that the Masked Royal was Professor Kukui, Ash shook those feelings off as he became more excited for the exhibition battle, as he not only gets the chance to battle his teacher and role model, but he also doesn't care that he kept his double life a secret from him along with their friends for so long. Ash and Professor Kukui both agreed to a full battle, then he recalled Naganadel. Before the full battle, Ash trains with Melmetal in preparation. During their full battle, Ash had Torracat attack Professor Kukui's Incineroar, but recalled him to recover and then sent out Lycanroc to battle it, but he recalled it and sent out his Braviary. Ash was pleased that Lycanroc dealt some damage to Professor Kukui's Braviary, but he ended up losing to it, but Rowlet was able to defeat it in an aerial battle. However, Ash was bummed when Rowlet was knocked out by Professor Kukui's Venusaur, but sent Torracat back in to defeat it and then recalled him. Ash had Pikachu battle Professor Kukui's Empoleon, but had him come back when he took some serious damage. But Melmetal defeated it and ended up being knocked out when he sent his Incineroar back out. After Professor Kukui sent out his Lucario, Ash sent Naganadel to battle it. Little did he know, Ash was being watched by Tapu Koko, who helped the Island Kahunas defeat Guzzlord, then decided to stay after the Ultra Beast was defeated, as it was watching the battle between him and Professor Kukui. Ash was pleased to see when Naganadel defeated Professor Kukui's Lucario, as he recalls it after their battle. When Professor Kukui resent his Incineroar, Ash resent out Torracat to battle his rival. After they both used Inferno Overdrive at the same time and had a clash with one of their moves, Ash was happy that Torracat defeated Professor Professor Kukui's Incineroar, but he ended up evolving into an Incineroar, but he couldn't continue battling due to the battle taking a lot out of him. When Professor Kukui was going to send out his last Pokemon, Ash was surprised that Tapu Koko came down to the battlefield, and when it smacked Professor Kukui's Pokeball out of its hand. Seeing that Tapu Koko wanted to battle him again as Professor Kukui's last Pokemon instead, Ash became eager that he'd be battling, but resent out Naganadel to battle the Island Guardian, where Pikachu wanted to be its opponent first. When Naganadel was defeated by Tapu Koko, Ash praised it for its efforts and then recalled it and got ready to send Pikachu back out to battle the Island Guardian. After the rest of the Island Guardians arrive and Tapu Koko gave Professor Kukui a Tapunium Z, Ash noticed his Electrium Z was transforming into a Pikachunium Z once again as his opponent was preparing a Z move. Ash performed his own Z move with Pikachu as both Guardian of Alola and 10 million volt Thunderbolt collided. However, Ash helped Pikachu by giving him his strength and encouragement, which led them to defeat Tapu Koko. After the battle, Ash was praised and congratulated by Professor Kukui for the hard-fought battle. With the Pokémon League done, Ash, the professors, and his Pokémon were having breakfast at Professor Kukui's house. However, Ash had to say goodbye to Naganadel, who sensed an ultra wormhole nearby and had to return to its home. At school, Ash listens to his friend's dreams and plans for an upcoming vacation, then was asked to battle by Kiawe in order to make up for not getting a chance to during the league. Hearing Sophocles ask him about his plans for vacation, Ash became unsure due to not giving that much thought on the matter. After school was done, Ash became lost in this thought and he doesn't know what to do next, due to finishing his island challenge, but did think about catching more Pokemon. Despite that idea, Ash asks Professor Kukui for some advice, but all he told him is that he should figure it out himself. Although Ash was given some encouragement from Professor Kukui, which he appertained. After sampling some of Mallow's new recipes, Ash battled Kiawe at Akala Island and won. When Olivia, who was referring to the battle, asked him about their plans, Ash was still unsure as he explains to her that he should figure it out for himself and then listens to what Kiawe's plans are. When Olivia realizes his friend's true goal, Ash becomes happy for Kiawe and supports him in making his dream a reality. Although Ash listens to Olivia give Kiawe some advice about going out and seeing the world as it would help him make his dream come true. Ash was told by Olivia that he would understand what she was saying as he came to Alola for his journey to make his dream come true. That night, after thinking about what Olivia said and realizing that his Alola journey was almost over, Ash not only decided to see more of the world, but also continue his journey in order to make his dream a reality. Realizing that he woke up his partner in Rotom, Ash tells Pikachu that their first stop was to go back home to Pallet Town to see his mom and their Pokemon family that reside at Professor Oak's lab. In addition, Ash told Pikachu that the world had more awesome things for them to see and tons of Pokemon. Although the next day, when Sophocles asked if he knows what he's going to do during vacation, Ash told his friends yes, then was going to tell him along with their other friends of his decision of resuming his journey and going back to Kanto. However, Ash got interrupted when Lily arrived with Snowy and the newly awakened Magearna, then became surprised when she tells everyone she was leaving Alola with her family to find her long-lost father. After seeing how bummed out his friends were about Lily leaving Alola, but they did cheer up when she tells them that she'll be back once they find her dad. Ash decides to wait to tell his friends about his own plans to leave the region as he didn't want to upset them more by telling them on the spot. While staring at the sunset, Ash was asked by Rotom when he was going to tell their friends about his plans to leave Alola as well. Although he knows how sad their friends were going to be about him departing Alola, Ash tells Rotom he's going to tell their friends his plans to resume his journey that next day. After battling and helping Team Rocket's Mimikyu, Ash reunites with Nebby, who decided to come see him and say goodbye. Riding on Nebby that next day, Ash meets up with his friends and told them of an adventure they had together. Also, Ash told his friends that Rotom was offered to work for the Aether Foundation and accepted the job. After explaining their adventure, Ash tells his friends that he was going to go home to Pallet Town, much to their surprise. Ash explains to his friends that ever since he came with Pikachu to Alola, they met them and tons of Pokemon. He also tells his friends that he and Pikachu learned a lot of things at the school, as everything in Alola had really been the best. However, Ash realized that it was not only time for him to go back home for a while, but also to keep traveling in order to check out other places. Ash tells his friends that resuming his journey will give him a new chance to meet more people and tons of Pokemon, along with having plenty of Pokemon battles to become stronger in order to fulfill his ambitions one day. Although his friends are sad to see him leave Alola when they realize he's really going, Ash nevertheless has their full support to continue his journey in order to make his dream come true, which he appreciates. When Lily and her family were getting ready to leave Alola to find Mon, Ash was given thanks by his best friend for everything he did for her and bid her farewell. Arriving at the airport, Ash and Pikachu say goodbye to the professors, who he decided to leave the Pokemon he caught in Alola under their care, and then got on the plane to head back to Kanto. While on the plane, Ash and Pikachu were given one final farewell from their friends, and then continued the voyage back to their hometown. Journeys. Ash heads to the Ceres laboratory with his mom and Professor Oak. Upon arrival, Ash encounters a Yamper who he tries to befriend but gets electrocuted by instead. Ash then attends the opening ceremony and he learns about the legendary Pokemon Lugia who is spotted at Vermilion City and attempts to battle it. When arriving at the scene, Ash meets up with a local boy named Go. As the two ride on Lugia, they are able to become friends after getting to know one another. After returning to Cerise' laboratory, Ash and Go are exhausted when Chloe, Go's childhood friend and Cerise' daughter, shows up and notices how tired they look. Ash and Go then show Professor Cerise the information on Lugia that they collected and become assistants of the Cerise laboratory, which they both accept. Ash and Go's first assessment is to investigate the Ivysaur all over Vermilion City. Before investigating, Cerise gives Ash a special phone that he and Go have a Rotom fuse with their phones and become part of a Pokedex. However, during the investigation, Ash and Go have a falling out when they find an Ivysaur in trouble. Arriving at a gym being constructed, the two follow the Ivysaur along with their pre-evolved form Bulbasaur to the building. Following these seed Pokemon, Ash is able to easily climb, but he notices that Go is having trouble and decides to put his grudge towards him aside to help him climb up. Although it was a long way up, Ash and Go get to the top of the building and then witness them about to evolve. However, Ash and Go become shocked when Team Rocket shows up to steal them. Ash had Pikachu battle Team Rocket and sends them blasting off once again. Ash and Go witness their evolution, but was oblivious when his friend was telling him that he and Pikachu were amazing. Ash and Go bring their findings to Professor Cerise and then somewhat apologize to one another for their fallout from before. Ash and Go's next assignment was to investigate the special phenomenon in the Galar region. Upon arriving in Galar, Ash and Go encounter Wild Scorbunny and 3 Nickit who steal the former's backpack. After getting his backpack back, Ash and Go then head to the train station en route to the wild area to continue their investigation. When Ash and Go arrive at the wild area, they encounter a sleeping Snorlax and meet up with Scorbunny again. When the Snorlax gets Gigantamax, Ash, Pikachu, Go, and Scorbunny try to move the Snorlax where it's blocking the railroad for the incoming train. After successfully dealing with it, Ash witnesses his friend Go when he catches his very first Pokemon, Scorbunny. Ash helps Go begin his goal on catching all Pokemon to fill in his index on his phone. Ash, Pikachu, and Scorbunny help Go search and catch a bunch of bug-type Pokemon in the Kanto region, where he's successful in catching them. Ash is also able to teach Go how to catch Pokemon by battling and weakening them during their mission. Ash brings Go to the Hoenn region, where he has them entered in the Battle Frontier Flute Cup tournament. Ash brings Pikachu and Mimey with him to compete in the tournament. During their visit, Ash and Go meet a guy named Hodge, who appears to be a cool guy and is nice to Ash, but somewhat rude to Go. Meanwhile, Ash is rapidly advancing through the tournament, winning battle after battle. When the final match between him and Hodge starts, Ash uses Mimey against Hodge's Hariyama. After Mimey easily defeats Hariyama, Hodge sends out his Mightyena, which Mimey easily gives up, forcing him to switch to Pikachu. After winning the tournament, Ash is rewarded with the prize, while Hodge congratulates him as he had fun during their battle. Ash and Go later meet a disheartened and worn-out Piplup in Vermilion's port. It appears this Piplup comes from the Sinnoh region and has gotten lost, and its trainer named Lauren was looking for it, so they decide to take it back home. When they arrive in Sinnoh, they meet Lauren, who is happy to be reunited with their Piplup. However, they realize that Piplup left after Lauren got another Pokemon, a Croagunk who has a rivalry with Piplup. Ash enters the Drift Ice Race with his Pikachu. However, Ash and Go become shocked when Team Rocket shows up to steal their Pokemon. Ash and Go battle Team Rocket and are able to send them blasting off once again. Afterwards, they witness Lauren and her Pokemon, who finally make amends as they complete their assignment and return home. Ash and Go read the news about legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh appearing in Johto, so they head to the region where they can meet it. However, when they arrive, they realize that the sightings of Ho-Oh turned out to be fake, which were due to a kid named Chad, who did it to help his grandfather look for Ho-Oh after giving up searching for it. The boys help Chad and his grandfather look for Ho-Oh in the bell tower. However, they run into trouble with a Misdreavus and a Stantler until Go stops them by catching them. When they arrive at the bell tower, they look for Ho-Oh and they call out for it. Despite failure on searching for Ho-Oh, they help Chad's grandfather get his motivation back as he will continue to look for Ho-Oh himself. After their mission, Ash and Go return home. Ash and Go head to an island where they can investigate the Dragonite who live there. During the investigation, Ash and Go discover how the Dragonite live there, such as sleeping, eating, and living together along with their pre-evolved forms, Dratini and Dragonair. However, while they're doing their research, Ash befriends a Dragonair who has trouble flying and using Dragon Dance. Ash was able to help it master the move, and was able to help it grow its wings. While they were there, Team Rocket attempted to steal a Pokemon, but they were soon defeated when Dragonair evolves into Dragonite. After Team Rocket was dealt with, Ash caught the newly evolved Dragonite, thus adding it to his team. Ash and Go greeted their Pokemon at Cerise Park, where they see Ash's Dragonite and Go's Scyther and Stantler greeting each other with hugs, and Go's Wurmple evolving into Cascoon. They later encountered a mysterious Gengar at the Cerise laboratory, and it starts attacking everyone. Ash attempts to battle and catch it during their pursuit, but failed in doing so. As Gengar continues its mayhem, Chloe shows up and she and Yamper defeat it, causing it to leave the laboratory. At night, the boys become determined to battle Gengar the next time it shows up. Ash and Go head back to the Galar region to watch the finals of the World Coronation Series as they arrive at the tournament. They witness the battle between one of the Kanto Elite Four, Lance, and the Pokémon Champion of Galar, Leon. During the battle, Leon defeated Lance and then became the World Champion. After seeing this battle, Ash declared he wants to battle Leon. When the match ended, the Windon Stadium was attacked by a wild Dreadnought after Team Rocket accidentally provoked it and caused it to change into its Gigantamax form. Ash and Go head out of the stadium to deal with the Gigantamax Dreadnought. However, during their battle, something unexpected happened. The Dynamax energy from underground engulfed Pikachu and caused it to transform into its Gigantamax form. Ash was shocked to see his best friend Gigantamaxing himself, but took the opportunity to use it to battle Dreadnought. Ash had initial trouble with Pikachu's newly giant form, but somehow got used to it during the fight with Dreadnought. Ash and Pikachu then defeated Dreadnought via Leon's advice with a powerful G-Max move, G-Max Volt Crash. After a victorious win, Pikachu reverted to its normal size. Ash and Go thank Leon for his help, as Leon thanks them for their heroic efforts as well. Ash asks Leon if he'd like to have a battle with him, but Leon stares at him with an interesting look. The next day, Ash thinks about Leon as he wants to battle, which Go states that he can by entering the World Coronation Series himself. Go explains the rules and the ranking system, whereto they can climb through the ranks in order to battle Leon. However, the boys were shocked to see as Leon accepted Ash's offer, much to the former's pleasure. At the Windon Stadium, Leon gives Ash a Dynamax band, as Leon realizes he used Dynamax without it yesterday. Leon explains how Dynamax works, for when a Pokemon Dynamax, their moves become max moves, and he told Ash that his Pikachu can Gigantamax, and now he has his own special G-Max move. Leon also told him that he can use Dynamax when a Pokemon returns to its Pokeball. Ash did remark about Pikachu hating being in his Pokeball, but he's sure they will still manage and decides to borrow the band. As their battle begins, Ash was being overpowered during most of it, but manages to hold their ground. During the battle, Ash's Dynamax band glows and transfers its energy to Pikachu, causing him to activate into Gigantamax form again. Leon's response is Gigantamaxing his Charizard, which led the fight to be a Gigantamax battle. Due to Ash's inexperience with it, he was defeated by Leon. After the battle, Ash thanks him for the fight and tries to return the Dynamax band, but Leon tells Ash he can keep it. Leon told Ash he likes special, unrefined trainers like him, and he needs to pop more if he wants to truly satisfy him. Ash asks Leon for another time that they can meet, and Leon promises their next one will be an official match. Ash then decides to enter the World Coronation Series in order to have his official rematch with Leon. Ash registers for the new season of the World Coronation Series. He plans to have his first battle with Visquez, the substitute gym teacher of Vermilion Gym. After arriving at the gym, Ash was surprised that Visquez knows him, as she heard about him from Lieutenant Surge, where he won a gym battle against him way back when. Ash asks Visquez to be his first opponent in the World Coronation Series, which he accepts. Ash starts his first World Coronation Series match in a 2v2 battle. Ash sends Pikachu out against Visquez's Raichu in the first battle. However, Pikachu had taken a lot of damage during the battle, so Ash decides to switch Pikachu with Gengar. Ash was happy that Gengar was victorious against her Raichu, but was bummed when it soon lost to Electrode, not before managing to do some damage to it with Psychic. Ash recalls Gengar and praises it for its hard work. Ash sent out Pikachu to battle against Electrode. Ash and Pikachu were able to defeat Electrode by rolling it in reverse and having Pikachu strike it down with its iron tail, and surviving its aftermath by using Electro Web as a shield. After the battle, Ash and Pikachu celebrate their first match victory as they advance to a new rank. Visquez congratulates Ash for his win in their battle, and she plans to tell Lieutenant Surge that he could have another rematch with him, much to Ash's pleasure on wanting to battle him again. Ash and Go went to see a movie being created. There, they encountered a Ditto who had fallen into a slump after angering a director due to not being able to transform very well. When the Ditto ran away from the studio, Ash and Go decided to search for the missing Pokemon. Luckily, they find the Ditto with Team Rocket, who were helping it become a better actor. They rescue it from Team Rocket, who faked their defeat in order to bring the Ditto back to them and then brought it back to the theater. Ash and Go then researched about Pokemon eggs, which they decided to go and look for one. While searching for an egg, Ash gets challenged by a trainer named Hayden and starts his third World Coronation Series match. During the battle, Ash senses a powerful wave of aura, which caused the egg to feel his presence. After the battle, Ash wins his third match in the Coronation Series, but sees Pikachu get an injury and decides to take him to a Pokemon Center. Just then, Ash senses something nearby but didn't know what. At the Pokemon Center, while his Pikachu was getting his wound healed, Ash senses something again and follows the source. Ash then finds a Pokemon egg, which Nurse Joy explains that the egg was originally from Sinnoh and got imported to Kanto. After being told that it was passed down from one caretaker to another and even refused to hatch for some reason, Ash tells Nurse Joy and Go that he sensed that the egg was close by. Ash was given the egg to keep by Nurse greatest joy. Back at the Ceres laboratory, Ash shows everyone the egg as they explain how to take care of one. Ash watches over the egg to make sure it was alright and even stops his Dragonite from almost accidentally squishing it when it tries to give it a hug. That night, the boys were sleeping until they woke up and noticed that the egg was starting to hatch. After the egg hatched, they were amazed when it was revealed to be a Riolu. However, the boys went after Riolu when it got confused and ran away from them. The boys' search for Riolu led them to a forest, during which Ash expressed to Go how he felt that Riolu was waiting for him and later believed it to be just mistaken. After Go suggested to split up to cover more ground, Ash and Pikachu left in one direction while their friends left in the other. Luckily, Ash and Pikachu found Riolu, who was being attacked by an Onix. Seeing this, Ash and Pikachu rushed to protect Riolu, who sensed his aura powers. When Riolu pushed Pikachu aside, Ash realized that the Emanation Pokemon wanted to battle with him. Through their teamwork, they were able to defeat Onix. Ash praised Riolu for its skills and then takes it to the Pokemon Center to heal its injuries. At the Pokemon Center, Ash was happy that Riolu had its wounds healed. However, Ash became surprised that Riolu wanted to come with him, which he accepted. Ash caught Riolu and it becomes a member of his team. While in Hoenn to investigate a Beautifly migration, Ash and Go helped Raboot win a dance battle as it was helping some wild Pokemon living in the area. Hearing that Go wanted to release Raboot, Ash told his friend that he should have talked to his partner about it first, which got him to realize his mistakes. After Raboot caught up with them, Ash was pleased that Go and his partner are planning to stay together. Ash was at Ceres Park training with Riolu as he heard Mimi use Reflect on its vacuum wave. However, Ash was called by Go as he had Pikachu and Riolu accompany him as they meet up with him and then take care of his Pokemon. However, Ash and Go notice a food shortage and they decide to spend the night at the park. Ash took some time to get some rest with Pikachu and Riolu, but were woken up by Go as it was their turn to keep watch. However, Ash and his Pokemon fell asleep and were woken up when he heard Pikachu use Thunderbolt. After waking up, the boys see that the other Pokemon were fighting and Dragonite would grab everyone as it told them that they should have let them work this out on their own. However, Ash and Go saw that Golurk was going berserk as its seal was removed, but some of his friend Pokemon recovered it and then put it back on. Although Ash, Go, and their Pokemon all helped his friend Cascoon evolve into Dustox. After everything was resolved, Ash, Go, and their Pokemon enjoy some time together. Hearing rumors at the resort area in the Sinnoh region, Ash and Go head over to investigate. While there, Ash and Go meet up with the Team Rocket trio who were on vacation, in disguise as they were helped by them. After finding out what they came for, Ash and Go had to stop Team Rocket's elite group Matori Matrix led by Matori, who lied to the Team Rocket trio just so she could get them out of the way for the operation. Ash had Pikachu and Riolu battle them, but his partner ended up getting taken as he tried to save them, but Go stopped them. While at the Pokemon Center, Ash decided that they needed to find Team Rocket and not only get Pikachu back, but the other Pokemon as well. With the Team Rocket trio, who overheard everything Matori said and wanted payback, Ash and Go found Pikachu along with the other Pokemon as they were able to rescue them. After Team Rocket retreated, Ash and Go thanked the disguised Team Rocket trio for their help and then left to go back to Kanto. Ash and Go later travel to the Kalos region where Ash partakes in a battle festival to raise his World Coronation Series ranking. He and Riolu later sense an aura nearby, which turns out to be from Corona's Lucario and is greeted by its trainer Corona. Ash and Corona later face each other in the finals, Ash using Gengar and Dragonite and Corona using Mienshao and Lucario. Ash helped Go train his Magikarp for a jumping competition but was bummed when it didn't return to Earth. However, after investigating Slowpoke Islands, Ash and Go see that the latter Magikarp had made its return. Returning to Galar for a Coronation Series match, Ash and Go see Leon battle a Galar region gym leader and he beats him. After that, Ash and Go learn a little bit about the region's history through Sonia. Hearing about a wild Farfetch'd, Ash and Go found it as he watches his friend battle and then lose. When he was about to have Pikachu battle it, Ash became surprised that Riolu came out of its Pokeball on its own and then had it battle the wild duck Pokemon instead. Ash was pleased that Riolu beat Farfetch'd and then brought them both to the Pokemon Center. After they were healed, Ash offered to help Farfetch'd become stronger and it happily accepts the offer. After catching it, Ash brought Farfetch'd out and then watches it spar with Riolu. While eating, Ash and Go meet a wild Sobble but it ran away from them. However, Ash became surprised that Go caught Sobble and encouraged it when he had it battle a wild Silicobra. After Sobble ran away from everyone, Ash helped Go look for it. However, Ash and Go were stunned that Sobble was captured by Team Rocket and then helped his friend save his Pokemon. Through the efforts of their partners, Ash and Go were able to save Sobble and then send Team Rocket blasting once more. While training Pikachu and Riolu, Ash was asked by Go if he saw Sobble, to which he said no. Hearing some of Go's Pokemon crying, they realized it was nearby and Ash had his Dragonite calm it down, which worked. Ash and Go became amazed to see Chloe taking care of a Pidove. Although they noticed how jealous Yamper was about Chloe giving Pidove more attention than him, Ash and Go were told about Chloe's past with Yamper. However, Ash and Go were willing to help defend the two Pokemon from a wild Fearow, although Ash became annoyed that Go didn't think about catching the Fearow. Ash was later seen to be battling Tony in a World Coronation Series match between Electabuzz and Riolu. After Riolu got the win, Ash went up to the 901st rank in Superclass. However, while training Riolu, Ash was unaware of Pikachu feeling neglected as he didn't give him a chance to spar. When his mother later arrived at the lab to check up on him, Ash ate the dinner she made, and everyone then left to train with Riolu some more. The next day, after his mother left, Ash was ready to train with Riolu as Pikachu tried to get his attention, but to no avail. This led him to run away. However, Ash noticed Pikachu's absence and realized that his partner was feeling neglected because of how he'd been training Riolu instead of him with Chloe's help. Realizing the truth and where he was going, Ash rushed to his hometown of Pallet Town in order to find Pikachu and apologize, with Go accompanying him. After Pikachu, who realized his mistake of leaving him, and Miami, who went with him, arrived in Pallet Town, Ash sees him and he apologized to him for not paying attention to his feelings, and his partner in return apologizes to him for leaving without warning. That night, Ash decided to thank Miami again for looking out for Pikachu and then lullabied him to sleep. Ash and Go aided Ginny in helping her Phoebe, to win a water-type friendship contest in Hoenn, which they succeeded. Later, Ash accompanied Go to the Pokemon Center in order for him to participate in a trade meeting. He later battled Kuromi in a World Coronation Series Superclass match, which he won. Ash later visited the fighting dojo in Saffron City to battle the karate master who had been beaten by the Galar region gym leader B. He decides to have a World Coronation Series Great Class match against her. Despite his determination, Ash was utterly crushed by B's overwhelming strength, resulting in his rank dropping. Ash soon accompanied Go to find some wild Pikachu. They eventually have an encounter with an affectionate Pikachu who gave the gang some Pecha berries as a token of friendship. Ash later attempted to have Riolu battle at a distance in 2 Great Class matches, however both resulted in his rank going back down to normal class. This caused him to become depressed, which made him falter in the battle against a Flygon. Fortunately, Go was able to remind Ash of his unique battling style, and Ash decided to start fresh again. Ash and Go later went to Alola, where Go hoped to catch an Alolan Executor. He was reunited with Professor Kukui and Professor Burnett. He was soon introduced to Lei, Burnett's newborn baby, and was referred to as a big brother. Ash soon caught up with his Alolan team and his classmates, save for Lily, who was still searching for her father. Ash and Go later brought Chloe to the Pewter Museum to see the exhibition of the giant Shieldon. After missing out on a chance to see the exhibit, they decided to dig up some fossils in the park. Ash was seen training Riolu and Pikachu in the park when Go delivered news of B being in Cyanwood City. Upon arriving at Cyanwood City Gym, Ash had not only re-encountered B, but also met up with the gym leader Chuck. He soon has a rematch against B since he managed to raise his rank back up to Great Class. However, the battle ended in a draw when their last Pokemon knocked each other out. Despite the draw, Ash and B both acknowledged their skills as trainers. When Ash and Go were preparing some shaved ice, there was an electrical surge, which turned out to be the work of the legendary Pokemon Zapdos. Finding Zapdos at a power plant, Ash and Go teamed up with Team Rocket to battle it until his friend left to confront it. While Go was continuing the battle against Zapdos, Ash battled Team Rocket and then blasted them off. After their battles, Ash and Go were happy that they battled Zapdos as they hoped to battle it again one day. As Ash and Go were strolling, they came across a Marshtomp who was stuck in the dried up mud. Although they tried to get it out, Ash and Go failed to help Marshtomp until a Ludicolo and its friend came, and they helped the Mudfish Pokemon get out of the dried mud. However, Ash and Go were shocked that Marshtomp got stuck in the dried up mud again. One night, as Ash was about to go to sleep, he noticed his Dynamax band glowing a red light. The following day, he and Go decided to visit the leading authority on Dynamax phenomenon, Professor Magnolia. Whilst on the way to Wedgehurst, a wild Bunnelby came in through the window and ran off with some of their lunch into the slumbering Weald. Whilst chasing after the Bunnelby, Ash and Go end up separating from each other. Soon enough, Ash was approached by a mysterious Pokemon who attacked him out of the blue. Despite Pikachu's efforts, the Pokemon appeared to be unfazed by the attacks. After the Pokemon summons up a thick fog, Ash and Pikachu wound up unconscious. After leaving the forest, he noticed several rays of red light falling from the sky. Upon coming into a nearby town, Ash came across a rampaging Gigantamax Centiskorch who was attacking the residents. Ash decided to try and stop the rampaging Pokemon with Pikachu, Dragonite, and Riolu. Despite their efforts, the rampant Centiskorch appeared unfazed by their attacks. It wasn't until Leon and Charizard showed up that the Centiskorch returned to normal. Ash and Leon soon arrived at a mine where a Colossal ended up Gigantamaxing and went on a rampage. After returning it back to normal, Ash defended the Pokemon from the miners who were putting down the Colossal despite it not being itself at the time. Ash was soon encountered by Rose and his secretary, Oleana, who invited him to a meal at Rose Tower. During the meal, Rose offered Ash an enforcement if he were to accept his proposal, to which Ash states he would rather forge his own path. Ash soon departed from Rose Tower in order to reunite with Go at Stowonside when he saw a bright red light emitting from the energy plant at Hammerlock. Upon reaching the stadium, Ash encountered Team Rocket who were being chased by a Gigantamaxed Meowth. Inside the stadium, Ash and Leon witnessed the terrifying power Eternatus was capable of. When Rose entered the stadium, he told Ash and Leon his reasoning behind using Eternatus as a power source. Ash, Pikachu, and Riolu continued their battle against Chairman Rose's Copperajah and Ferrothorn, whilst Leon deals with Eternatus. Noticing that Ferrothorn focused more on defense and Copperajah on offense, Ash strategically gets the two steel types to attack each other. Just as Pikachu is about to unleash its Thunderbolt, it got pushed back by Eternatus' Dynamax Cannon. Just as Ash and Pikachu were about to get trampled by Rose's Pokemon, Riolu intercepts the attack to defend them. Despite the pressure of the Power Whip attacks, Riolu evolves into Lucario and pushes the two Pokemon back. Ash then commanded Lucario to use Vacuum Wave until Lucario told Ash through Aura to command Aura Sphere instead. Upon defeating Rose, Ash, Pikachu, and Lucario head to where Leon was taking on Eternatus and reunited with Go and his newly evolved Cinderace. With help from Zacian and Zamazenta, Ash and Go were able to defeat Eternatus as they caught it and then sealed it away so the Darkest Day wouldn't occur again. Ash and Go returned the Rusted Sword and Shield as they thanked the two legendary Pokemon for their help. Also, Ash and Go hoped to see the two legendary Pokemon again someday when they returned to Kanto. Ash and Go received word about a strong psychic energy signature that blares similarities to Mew. Hearing this, Ash and Go venture off to Cerro Island to investigate the mysterious energy. However, they encounter Mewtwo, which Ash knows but doesn't tell Go because of the promise he had made to the genetic Pokemon from last time they saw each other. Ash and Go battled Mewtwo as they fight a good fight against it, but they lost to it in the end. However, Ash and Go's passion for their ambition impressed Mewtwo, who brought them back to the lab where they reunited with their friends. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.